I watched opening night last night against my better judgment. I just can't resist. I mean, it's basketball. I love basketball. I want to keep watching basketball. And I had some new thoughts when I woke up this morning about load management. And a lot of it has to do with the way I watched the game and some stuff that I heard after the game. Have any of you guys ever watched these basketball games with the TNT Overtime app? It's free as long as it's being broadcast on TNT. You can go to NBA.com and then they have the TNT overtime thing. And if you haven't done it, don't, because you will lose what little respect you might have for these guys. I mean, it really, really exposes how much rest they get and how much they loaf around because the camera never cuts away. So you see everything. And it helps you realize, even though subconsciously, yeah, I know that they're in a timeout. Yeah, I know that they're not running. If you are looking at an announcer who's distracting you, or if you cut to a commercial and that's distracting you and you're being entertained, you're not really dwelling on the fact that, goddamn, these guys not only aren't running, but they're not running most of the time. Like, I don't know why they need to load manage at all. I don't know why they need a night off. I mean, the in-game play looks like they're load managing. And I focus this on LeBron James a lot, but it's certainly not just him. It's absolutely not just him. And you get the sports analysts and you get the announcers constantly trying to justify this. They're like, well, on one hand, I understand that the fans want to see these guys play and they have an obligation to the fans. On the other hand, you want to take care of your body and have a long career. And thank God for Chuck. Thank God for Chuck, because when they were showing the highlights and they showed LeBron in one of the times that he decided to make a little bit of an effort, he just went from one end to the other without being touched or even challenged. And, it was included as a highlight. And thank God for Chuck. Chuck says,
we know things are bad when we're giving guys a compliment on making a layup.
You know things have gotten bad when you've got to compliment a guy for making a layup. It was a great point. I mean, I was so glad that he said it. Forget that it was LeBron James. That's just bullshit. That's just bullshit fucking basketball. And despite it being a good point and it being funny, of course, what do the other guys do? Kenny snaps back with, well, it's year 21. What do you expect? What were you doing at year 21? And Chuck says, well, I was sitting here announcing. And that's when it occurred to me, why do we think we owe these players long careers playing? Why do we, the fan base, owe these guys to play fucking forever at the cost of the quality of the game going down? It's not like they have to stay in it in order to earn their pension. It's not like they have to work X number of years to get their retirement fund, or that they're making such little money they have to stay in the game for X number of years before they have enough to get by on. These guys are millionaires from day one. The worst one, even if you fail, even if you don't deliver with what people hoped for, they're dumb enough to give guaranteed contracts to guys who have never done anything before based on hype. They're all fucking millionaires from day one. The poorest one of them has more money than you and I will make in our entire lifetimes, retiring at age 62 or 65 or whatever. And we're supposed to feel bad that professional athletes who have chosen the profession of physical activity that is supposed to take a toll on your body, now we're supposed to feel bad that it actually took a toll on their body? It takes a toll on my body, and I play for free. When I stare at the computer screen for my work, it takes a toll on my eyes. When I sit in the chair too long for work, it takes a toll on my knees. I don't get to tell my boss, hey, I'm not going to come to work for a while because I got to save my body. I'm not even in the entertainment sector. These guys are in the entertainment sector, and are being given passes not to entertain while being paid. Maybe there's a reason that you get paid a lot for a short period of time, not fucking $96 million so that we can see you fucking loaf into your 21st fucking season, your 22nd fucking season. I mean, if this continues, everybody's going to be playing forever because you only play half a fucking season. Every season is cut in half. And you're not even fucking working hard when you're on the court. It's not like someone's going to steal the game from them after retirement. It's not like you're condemned to never play basketball again. You can go play pickup ball. You can go to another league. You can go to the Y. You can go overseas. No one's saying you don't get to play basketball anymore. But why should we have to suffer and keep paying you because of this new idea of what's owed to everybody? Aren't the fans responsible for their salary in the first place? I mean, the NBA is betraying the fans. Viewership is down. And what's ironic about the viewership being down is that you have all these LeBron fanboys who declare how great he is. And now you realize, because, the population is bigger than ever, that if they were really watching the game, it wouldn't mathematically be possible for viewership to be down. That is proof in itself that they aren't watching the games. So you have these snippets of highlights that are on social media, and somebody says some absurd statement like, that's the most incredible thing for anyone ever to be doing at this age. And that's what all the decisions about being a great player are based upon. Not on reality, not on effort on the floor, not on drive, not on competitiveness. It's on bullshit that's being fed to people who aren't even watching the game. And again, now I circle back to the fact that I watched this on the TNT Overtime app. My God, these fuckers are lazy. And almost no one's getting challenged. Nobody gets fucking hit going up for a layup. Now, I said hit right then, which is a mistake. What I meant was touched, because these guys are basically not even being touched. I understand that their bellies might rub a tiny bit and their jerseys might flap against each other, but they're basically going unchallenged to the rim. That's just weird. I don't care who the player is. It's not just the protection of LeBron James and LeBron James's nightly layup drill. It's kind of across the league. And how does someone like Shaq, who loves to say, oh, if someone does that, if someone keeps coming in, I got to touch them up. I gotta touch them up, put them on the ground. If you really feel that way, how are you sitting there analyzing this stuff and not making fun of it? Which brings me to this concept that anyone like me that has the frustration level to finally say, this is garbage, is called a hater. And this other channel did a great bit on hating and haters, because the fact that someone's calling out the truth doesn't make them a hater. And the fact that someone doesn't have the same opinion as you doesn't make them a hater. But here's what's most important. If you weren't pretending that something is what it isn't, then there wouldn't be any point for someone like me doing this. My anger is at how the game has gotten worse and how bad playing has become glorified into being great playing. It doesn't have to be LeBron James, but because everybody is promoting LeBron James, I didn't go and pick his name out of a hat. You guys are constantly talking about how great he is and that he's amazing and that he's the best top 5 still at this age. When in reality, this crap is happening on the screen. That's what pisses me off. Don't claim that he's something that he isn't and expect me not to say, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you looking at? If he was just another person going out there and playing basketball, clearly none of this would be happening. What would be the point? Because the point isn't really about LeBron James. It's about the false perception of LeBron James. Like this type of shit here is nightly. It goes uncalled. At this point, the other team doesn't even expect it to be called. And the minions have now decided that they're going to redefine the rules of basketball themselves and tell us old heads that we don't know what traveling is because this is the LeBron James era. And now this is called good ball handling. And it's also what the creation of a league that accepts that type of behavior and celebrates that type of behavior has now trickled down and affected the entire league to where watching basketball is a joke. And you want me to be impressed that someone who is a professional basketball player can dunk. I don't care which player we're talking about. Who with any hops at all can't dunk when the opposition isn't even interested in stopping you. And I got to throw in that Mark Jackson quote from last year when he defended D'Angelo Russell flying in from the side and hitting a guy going in for a layup.
The open floor. A hard foul.
Just fouling him with every part of his body. And Mark Jackson and Van Gundy start talking like they're tough guys.
First glance, that looks like a good foul, going up to try to block the shot.
That is a good foul. What happened to the game I love?
This league astounds me. What do we want D'Angelo Russell to do? Get out of the way?
And saying, what do you want him to do? Get out of the way? Well, apply that to LeBron James then. Because that's all I see every fucking night is people getting out of the way. Oh, here, he wants a layup. Let's give it to him. Or else we're guaranteed to be called for a foul. That's what someone getting out of the way looks like. Mark Shittard Jackson. That's a whole lot of talk. That's a whole lot of talk coming from a guy who had to ram Jordan with his shoulder, didn't even make a play on the ball because he had no hope whatsoever of stopping him. And you turn around and talk about what's he supposed to do, get out of the way, without ever calling out the fact that LeBron James is engaging in a free layup clinic every fucking night. There was a time where after a full day of work, I would go to the basketball courts and then we would play 4 or 5 hours until, the sun was going down. And that was on concrete. And that was like playing hard. That's running up and down and actually giving your all without referees calling every fucking touch foul and commercial breaks and timeouts and all that jazz. And you know what? That continued. I did that my entire 20s. I did that most of my 30s and even through my 40s. I don't understand how these pro athletes, it's not just that these pro athletes are getting pampered when it's their job to go out and do exactly that thing. I don't understand why you call someone like LeBron James an Iron Man because he's gone 21 years, but he rests as much as he wants. For example, let's say that you took a couple of days off in your youth and then you came back and you played. Were you reinvigorated? Did you play a little bit better? In your youth, it didn't matter nearly as much, but you could benefit from it. So you look at Michael Jordan never taking a game off and playing the way that he played. That's an Iron Man. You don't call someone who gives their body breaks all the time to recover and come back whenever you're comfortable an Iron Man. You call a guy who battles through pain and plays because of his intense competitiveness every single opportunity that he had. You call that an Iron Man. Look at this. When LeBron is complaining, he's exerting as much energy as he does during most defensive sequences. Walking to the bench looks like as much movement as a typical play, moving around at the perimeter, just waiting for someone to pass the ball. Oh, and now it's a commercial break. After three up and downs on the court, now it's time for a timeout and a commercial break, as if they weren't getting enough rest. I blacked out the screen. I don't want to get blocked by YouTube for copyright of whatever these commercials are. But I'm going to let that timer run so you guys have a full appreciation of just how absurd all of this rest is. You see what I'm saying about when you aren't being distracted and you focus on exactly how much time is going by, man, that's a lot of rest. I made a video a while back talking about Larry Bird choosing not to accept money from the Boston Celtics because he didn't feel like he could give them everything. Now we have guys demanding max contracts, even as they are planning to sit, and sit a lot, or even planning to have surgery during the season, or any discomfort that they have. Sit out for a while. We're just paying you a fucking ridiculous amount of money. And we've decided that this is fine. Somehow this is okay. Look at me. I'm out of things to talk about, and we aren't even back from that commercial break, which was just a basic timeout. And there's going to be another timeout in just a few minutes, and then there's going to be a foul review. There's going to be free throw rests. There's going to be substitutions. Honestly, I don't know how they even get tired. Now we're back from commercial, but they're still not playing. They're still not exerting energy. So I can't stop the timer. I'm starting a second timer just to show how much more rest there is, even when they aren't officially resting. I really don't know how they break a sweat. I mean, they must not be in very good shape. I don't care how many Instagram posts there are. Oh my God. Oh my God. Could we have some basketball during a basketball game? Oh. 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 Oh my God, are we playing? Sometimes it's hard to tell.